speak. How did you decide on the subject matter for your photograph?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but also a short one. As a child, I would wander all about. Always loved the outdoors. And I took it for granted how everything seemed to come together. And at some point I lost that ability to see things simply and unified. And more recently, as I've returned to art making in my golden years, I tried to recapture that sense of connection with what I saw in the world around me. And as adults, it's very hard to be as innocent as we were as children. And it's taken me a couple of years to gain the kind of focus and the equanimity that's needed to allow that kind of experience to enter into my life. These images, I feel, stand alone in that regard, and there's a kind of a simple connection, not unlike what I felt when I was a child. I didn't judge. I just accepted what I saw. Everything was acceptable. Everything was part of my life. In fact, there was very little separation between myself and the natural world. And I think that in this regard, these images were all chosen or were allowed because I've obtained a certain kind of rapport, a certain kind of understanding of how I can see things with the innocence of a child, but also with the experience of an adult.
What is harder to do, the photographs or the words about the pictures?
The words, I believe, at this point. Before, I was a big talker, and I'm finding as I mature as an artist, I try to say less and allow the images to speak more. Why do you take photographs?
I just love it. I love stopping and trying to get on. I just love trying to get what I see, just to capture that very moment that you may never see again, and then you just get it.
If you were to speak about the workshop just a bit, how has the group dynamic affected your image making?
It's affected my image making in that it's confirmed what I always knew in my gut. When I see a good picture that's composed well, I take it and I can get it, see it again, and it's confirmed that for me. I wasn't always so sure. Sometimes I'd take pictures, I wasn't sure, but I was getting if it had something to say, and now I'm trusting myself more.
You were involved in the speed review workshop. Can you recall one comment from one of the other participants that has particularly affected you or moved you to think about your own work in a different way?
Yes. Somebody, we had discussed this photograph actually in particular, and how different it might look if somebody had gotten on a computer and maybe really punched this up or did something different, cropped certain things out of it, and we both agreed that it wasn't necessary.
When you say not necessary, what do you mean?
It wasn't necessary to change this in any way on the computer with software. It wasn't necessary to do anything really different to it. There are some people that would believe that you should. Maybe you need to crop here and crop there, and maybe you need to cut out part of the sky and maybe change it here. But the one comment somebody had made was that this was good just the way it was, and that's what I believed.
And how did that affect you, having that kind of positive feedback in the workshop?
It confirmed what I thought. I wasn't so sure about it, but then it brought me back to my original feeling that sometimes it's more time spent in front of the camera than behind it, but behind a computer. It's more important if you can wait a few minutes and get it how you want it.
And you find yourself, you're more willing to wait now.
Yes, I wait. And I get what I want.
Can you tell us what you've stumbled upon in this new work?
Well, this body of work is entitled Altered Space. And what it's about my positioning my own work in spaces that I don't own. A space like Times Square or a space like the Museum of Modern Art. It's in effect saying, I have a fantasy of one day seeing my work in the limelight, shown at a major space, a major museum, and I'm making it happen through art.
How does the group dynamic of a workshop help you?
I think the workshop provided an opportunity for me to explore what it is that was important to me and to make the proper assessments as to where I should be spending my time creating art. The workshop worked for me on another level, and that is that it gave me the opportunity to work out my issues simply because I got the attention for the short 15 minutes and I was allowed to explore the issues in depth, something that you don't necessarily find in other workshops. I mean, what other workshops can you go to where the attention is on the person who is presenting work? The attention is on the person who is talking about the work. Very often when you go to a workshop, the people that you hear from the most are the people that talk the loudest, who know so very, very little about art, and who have a very, very limited understanding of what it means in terms of fine art. I find this particular workshop extremely beneficial to me. I can't talk for anybody else, but I just get the feeling that these type workshops, they should be available for people who are interested in developing their craft, developing their vision, developing their art.